everyone, Max Gullekson here, back again with Southbridge Community Television right here at 41 Elm Street on the first day of spring in Southbridge. And a month and a half ago when we were talking about The Butler Did It, the show at Gateway, and now we have our second show of the season, which is Sylvia, and today we have Dave Corkum and Joan Stewart, who are actively involved in the show. Thanks for coming on, Dave and Joan. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Dave, you're the director of this show?
I am.
And Joan, you are one of the players? Okay, and now before we get started on the show, you have other things you do. Dave, what else do you do besides get involved in Gateway?
Well, in real life, I work at Boston College, and I'm the director of media technology. So I oversee a lot of various technology-related departments that happen on campus, things that happen on campus.
You live locally?
I live in Charlton.
Oh, that's quite a hike, huh?
It's a nice, long commute every day.
Oh, sure. What about you, Joan? What do you do in your real life?
In my real life, I'm home. I'm retired. I guess you could say I used to be in advertising.
You're just an actress when you're
I'm just
when
an
you have a little
actress.
spare time.
Yes.
Okay, so this show we have is called Sylvia, a man, a woman, and a dog. Dave, tell me a little bit about Sylvia.
Well, it's about a couple, Greg and Kate. Joan plays
I'm Kate.
Kate. And they've recently become empty nesters. Their children have left. They live in New York City. And Greg is, he works and he's somewhat dissatisfied with his job. Kate has just gotten back into the whole work thing after raising her children. And one day Greg finds a stray dog in the park and brings the dog home. He brings the dog home and Kate wants absolutely nothing to do with the dog.
Oh, how terribly sad.
And that's sort of the premise behind the story, is how Kate and Greg react to having this dog here.
A lot of emotional ups and downs. There's a lot of laughs. There may be a tear here or there.
Comedy.
It
Oh, yeah.
is,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it is a comedy,
Oh yeah.
but there's an underlying message, I think,
Oh, I see.
throughout the whole show about marriage, about communication, and so there's a somewhat serious side to it, but it's all veiled in comedy.
These sounds like themes that a lot of people would recognize. You know, people my age, you know, and then your kids are gone and you're dealing with that. And the protagonist here
living
got
it.
the dog. You're living it yourself?
I'm living it. My son just went off to college, and we actually just got a rescue dog about a year and a half ago.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
so my life is really mirroring the show. It's very
You don't have
funny.
any animus toward the dog, though, do you?
I love my dog.
Unlike in the show.
Unlike the show.
Joan,
Yes.
how is it working with such a talented thespian animal that they can star in one of these Gateway shows? How do you do that?
It's a lovely experience.
The story behind that, the funny story, when I first read the very short description of the show, my first thought was, all right, who am I going to contact who has a dog who will behave itself for 2 hours on stage? Then I read the full description, and I realized that we didn't need a real dog. And the reason we didn't need a real dog is because the dog is played by an actress.
You have a human portraying the dog.
Yes. And the way it's portrayed isn't what you would think. It's not, they aren't down on all fours the whole show. They aren't dressed in some kind of Scooby-Doo dog costume. Most of the time, she is standing. She isn't dressed like a dog.
Yeah.
And she talks.
So we're taking a little poetic license with the animal here in the animal kingdom for our show.
Yeah.
We have to, otherwise the dog wouldn't be able to do the magic that it does in bringing these two
Exactly.
wayward middle-aged people together.
And I think if you're a
Exactly.
dog lover,
Yeah.
you'll really appreciate the show, because I think anybody who has a dog always talks to their dog.
Yeah.
Especially if you're home alone with the dog.
Yeah.
I know I do. I
Yeah.
talk to my dog all the time.
Yeah.
And you always think, well, I wonder what the dog would say.
If it was able to talk back
Able
to
to
you.
talk. Well,
Yeah.
that's sort of what
Yeah.
Sylvia does in the show.
Yeah.
She talks back, and there's some really funny scenes and lines that Sylvia has.
Cool.
So.
So this is another Gateway show. Where are we having the show at? I know that Gateway, as we've talked about in the past, Gateway doesn't have a permanent home right now, and through the good graces of several of the local, where's this one going to be?
This one's at Elm Street Congregational Church again.
Several of them there.
They've been great to us using.
Yeah.
We've been using their hall.
Yeah.
We are still looking.
Yeah.
We have a fund going to raise money. It's going to take a lot of money once we do find a space. More important thing right now is finding that space. We've been
Yeah.
looking. We've had a couple, interesting locations we've looked at. But if there's anyone out there, I'll look at the camera for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyone out there who is a business person who has a building, a a big space. We need relatively high ceilings, things like that. Please reach out to us.
Sure.
We've looked a lot, but we're still looking.
So for all my Southbridge friends who have culture, and there's several, if they want to see this wonderful play, what are the dates for the play? It's over here at the Elm Street Congregational on Elm Street. What dates are we looking
It's
at?
April 5th, April 5th and 6th.
Those are what, a Friday, Saturday?
Friday, Saturday, and then April 12th, 13th, and 14th. All of them are at 7:30, except the Sunday show is at 2 p.m.
The final show's at matinee at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And this is and it's not much money to go see one of these shows. I know that for a fact. And all that money, I mean, these are nonprofit. All the money's used to support you're not getting paid for your star turn, are you?
No. This is a labor
unfortunate.
of love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone
no one's
involved,
paid.
it's a labor of love.
Maybe 10 years down the road when you're all famous, they can start to pay you. And it sounds like a real fun show.
Yeah.
Folks, there you have it. Right here in Southbridge, we have another opportunity for you to step out in spring now and go and take that person that you like and take them to see Sylvia with Dave and Joan. Dave, the director. Joan is one of the stars of the show. And go see it at the dates we just mentioned. And you'll have a swell time, I'm sure of it, and it'll give you the opportunity to support the arts right here in Southbridge.